Hello, today we're going to hear a story about Jonah, the backwards prophet. But before we start the story, we're going to make sure that we are ready. So let's begin by getting ourselves settled and seated and ready to listen. So today we have a blue background. It looks like we have some brown background. I wonder what this could be. And we have this wooden vessel with this cool flag. We have this wooden thing. Looks like it could maybe be, I wonder. And then a wooden block with a ridge around it. Well, let's get ready. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, and he said to Jonah, "Arise and go to Nineveh, that great city, and tell those people that they are bad, and they must change and become good." Now prophets are people who come so close to God, and God comes so close to them that they know what God wants them to do. And then they go do it. So Jonah listened to this, and he turned and he went the other way. He went away from Nineveh, and he went into this boat, and he found a ship going to a town called Tarshish, which is in Spain. It was going as far away from Nineveh as you could go. And that ship was starting to sail, and it went into the Mediterranean Sea. And it started to sail. And as it started to sail, a storm started to break out. And the sailors were afraid because the sea became rough. And each of the sailors prayed to their own God. And they were crying, and they were carrying everything that they had with them, and they started to throw things into the ocean to make the ship light so that they could float. Now, a prophet is someone who helps people discover what is the best thing to do. So the sailors went to go look for Jonah. And do you know where he was? He was asleep in the bottom of the boat. The captain found him and commanded him to come to the top of the boat. And they called on him and told him to have their God come save him. And so Jonah did that, and he came to the top of the boat. And the boat was rocking in all of the strong waves. Now the people were even more afraid at this point because the boat was becoming more unsteady in all of the waves of the storm. And it was rocking and it was rolling. And they decided to cast lots to see whom God was angry at. And they wanted to throw that one person overboard to get rid of them. Now, a prophet is someone who can speak for the one true God. But Jonah still did not speak. The sailors asked him who he was, and he told them that he worshiped God, the one who made the sea and the dry land. And then the sailors became truly afraid. They knew that he was trying to flee from God. The sea grew even more troubled. So Jonah said to them, "Just throw me in and the storm will stop." So the sailors threw Jonah in as he had told them, and the seas started to grow calm. And suddenly the waves grew more quiet. and Jonah was alone in the water. Now, a prophet is someone who brings people close to God by what he or she says and does. Jonah said nothing, but when the sea grew calm and the sailors fell down and worshiped the true God. Now, a prophet is someone who is close to God, and a false prophet is very far from God. When Jonah was thrown into the water, he was neither close to God, nor was he far from God. Jonah was sinking. And as he sank, a great fish swam up to Jonah and swallowed him. And Jonah was in the belly of this great fish for 3 days and 3 nights. And Jonah began to pray. And the fish began to feel very strange. The fish began to feel sicker and sicker. And finally, on that 3rd day, the fish swam to shore and spit out Jonah onto the shore and swam away. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah again for a 2nd time. Arise and go to Nineveh, that great city, and tell the people there that they are bad and that they need to change and become good. This time, Jonah went to Nineveh. Jonah went to Nineveh as God had told him, and he cried out to the people of Nineveh that they were bad and that God commanded them to be good. God said that they would be destroyed. All of them would be destroyed if they did not. Now, a prophet is someone who is overjoyed when people who are bad become good. The people of Nineveh listened to God's call, and they turned and they became good. All went about wearing sackcloths and ashes to show how sorry that they were. Even the king and queen were sorry and became good. The creatures in the fields were sorry too, and they also became good. God did not destroy this great city. This made Jonah angry, though. He wanted God to destroy the city. These people were not even the people of God. He went outside the city and sat on a hill and sulked. He wanted to get his way. And God said, "Why are you angry?" God caused a plant to grow next to Jonah, to give Jonah some shade as the sun beamed down on him. He was on this hill in the sun and it was hot. Then one night, God sent a worm to attack this plant, and it withered away and died. When the sun rose, a sultry east wind came, and the sun beat down on the head of Jonah so that he was faint, he was hot, and he was tired. And he grew angry about the death of this plant. And God said to Jonah, "Why are you so angry about the plant?" "I am angry," he said. "I am angry enough to die." he thought, thinking that he might still get his way. And God said to Jonah, "You pity the plant, but you did nothing for it. You did not cause it to grow. You did not care for it. You did not water it. Should I not pity Nineveh, that great city where there are more than 120,000 people and all of their cattle?" So I wonder, friends, I wonder what part of the story today that you liked best. I wonder which part of the story is the most important part. I wonder where you're at in this story. I wonder what part of the story is about you. And I wonder if there's any part of the story that we could leave out, or if we have all of the pieces of the story that we need. I wonder if there's a different way that you might finish the story. I wonder what Jonah did next. I wonder what he said to God. I wonder. Thank you for joining us today.